through the frost of a night that won't forgive. Shadows of bayonets where ghosts still live. A cry in the wind, a song carved in pain. Echoes of sorrow through the cold, bitter rain. Oh, a cold lullaby, it cuts through the night with sobs in the dark and no end in sight. A voice that's been broken, it still tries to sing a melody frozen on a shattered wing. The ground whispers tales of those who once stood, their names etched in silence, their stories in blood. The trees hold the weight of 1,000 lost dreams, while the river runs cold, reflecting their screams. Oh, a cold lullaby, it cuts through the night with sobs in the dark and no end in sight. A voice that's been broken, it still tries to sing a melody frozen on a shattered wing. Raise your voice to the sky, though it shakes with despair, for the ones who are gone, who linger in the air. Through bayonets and sobs, we bear the refrain, a song for the fallen, a hymn for the pain. Echoes subside, the lullaby lingers, it won't be denied. For the scars that we carry, the wounds we disguise, the song of the broken never truly dies. The moon hangs low, a ghostly glare. Dusty boots sink in the night's despair. His hands are trembling, his breath is thin. A battle outside, but the war's within. God forgive what I can't undo. This blood-stained ground's a bitter hue. I whisper to the shadows, I shout to the air. This is my burden, my whispered prayer. The rifle's cold, its weight so real, a quiet companion to the pain I feel. He's just a shadow in my crosshairs frame, but shadows have faces and faces have names. God forgive what I can't undo. This blood-stained ground's a bitter hue. I whisper to the shadows, I shout to the air. This is my burden, my whispered prayer. The silence
stars above, they mark my pain, their light untouched by the blood-red stain. I close my eyes, but I still see the man I was, the man I can't be.
Bloodstained hands grip the tattered thread. A flag that once soared now hangs in dread. The fields are quiet, the rivers run black. Echoes of glory now won't come back. Raise it high, though the wind won't cry. A fallen nation under blood-red sky. Shadows linger where the proud once stood. The cost of freedom written in blood. Rust on the plow, no crops to sow. The earth is hardened where dreams won't grow. Children whisper about the days long gone. The flag's still waving, though the heart's withdrawn. Raise it high, though the wind won't cry. A fallen nation under blood-red sky. Shadows linger where the proud once stood. The cost of freedom written in blood. The bells don't ring, the church doors creak. A broken voice, too tired to speak, but still they gather with trembling hands to lift that banner on scorched out lands. Night creeps in, the air turns cold. Stories of courage that can't be retold. With every fold in that ragged cloth lies a tale of beauty lost to the frost. Well runs deep beneath this cursed ground, where secrets lie and shadows abound. The air is thick, it clings to the skin. The hearts here are darker than the sins within. Darker than cruel, black as the night. They carry their burdens far from the light. No prayers are spoken, no mercy to find. The hearts here are darker than the devil design. The preacher left town, his faith turned to dust. He couldn't save souls who'd forgotten to trust. The graveyard's full and the whiskey runs dry. The hearts here are darker than the midnight sky. Darker than crude oil, black as the night. They carry their burdens far from the light. No prayers are spoken, no mercy to find. The hearts here are darker than the devil's design. A scream in the distance, a cry in the wind, echoes of sorrow where hope's wearing thin. The river won't cleanse, it just stains the soil. The hearts here are darker than crude oil. The stars don't shine on this desolate land, just the ghosts of regret that no one can stand. They whisper their secrets, their voices uncoil. The hearts here are darker than crude oil. Doc says the tumor ain't growing. I say that the bills are. It's been a long time coming for the come down. And you can have it all, but only for a moment. And then you don't have nothing when the doctor comes to town. So pack up all your bags, 'cause we all have to go. Don't forget the baby, she's crying out for more. We know what the doctor said, so you better get out of your bed, 'cause if we don't, the doctor's gonna have our heads. Doc says that my father's dying. He says he's got a month left. I wonder if my mother can handle it. I'm afraid she can't. She says it isn't fair that she don't have no money. I tell her it ain't funny when the doctor comes to town. So pack up all your bags, 'cause we all have to go. Don't forget the baby, she's crying out for more. We know what the doctor said, so you better get out of your bed, 'cause if we don't, the doctor's gonna have our heads. It's been a long time coming for the come down, and you can have it all, but only for a moment, and then you don't have nothing when the doctor comes to town. So pack up all your bags, 'cause we all have to go. Don't forget the The shovel bites the cold, hard clay. Another grave to mark the day. The preacher mumbles words of grace, while grief carved lines on every face. The pine box rests on trembling ground. The silence wraps a hollow sound. A mother's wail splits through the air. Hot tears fall heavy, full of despair. Cold earth and hot tears at every burial. The weight of loss feels so surreal. Each spade of dirt, a chapter closed. Bury the love that we once chose. The moon hangs low, a witness still. Its pale light fades on the distant hill. The crows take flight, their cries a song for the ones we've loved and now gone. Oh, the dark keeps secrets deep and cruel. A heart becomes a stranger's tool. With every scream a soul does fray, as life's warmth slips further away. Cold earth and hot tears at every burial. The weight of loss feels so surreal. Each spade of dirt, a chapter closed. Bury the love that we once chose. The stove's gone cold, the ashes rage. A lonesome chair where no one stays. The clock ticks off, the mournful sound. In this hollow place, no life is found. The windows rattle, the wind slides in, whispering ghost of where we've been. Shadows stretch where love once grew. Cold kitchens wait for a life they knew. Empty halls, no echoes sing, just the weight of what loss can bring. Houses stand with hearts of stone, rooms forgotten, left alone. The floorboards creak beneath my boots. A ghostly waltz of broken roots. A picture hangs its colors bled, faces smiling, now long dead. The air is thick, the past won't fade. Every corner a memory made. Screaming out, my voice won't fill this emptiness, this aching still. Empty halls, no echoes sing, just the weight of what loss can bring. Houses stand with hearts of stone, rooms forgotten, left alone. The mud swallows boots, the rain drowns the cries in the trenches. Mercy is the first thing to die. The rats feast on crumbs on the living and the dead. The sky weeps for the broken, painted crimson red. Shadows stretch along where the sun dares not tread. Brother turns on brother, their hearts hanging by threads. The cold bites deep, but the fear cuts sharper. Each breath a gamble, each step feels darker. Oh, in the trenches where the angels won't fly, where prayers are whispers and hope's left to dry. The soul gets heavy, the spirit turns stone. In the trenches you're born to die alone. Blood and rain mix, forming rivers of despair. The scent of regret lingers thick in the air. I hear the screams, though their lips don't part. Each man's a ghost, clutching fragments of a heart. Oh, in the trenches where the angels won't fly, where prayers are whispers and hope's left to dry. The soul gets heavy, the spirit turns stone. In the trenches you're born to die alone. And I scream at the silence, but it screams back at me. A choir of shadows lost to eternity. The ground shakes beneath the graveyard in disguise. In the trenches, mercy's just another lie. When the battle fades and the smoke starts to clear, you're left with your demons and the taste of fear. The mirror shows faces that you don't recognize. In the trenches, every soul is compromised. The skies turn black, the sirens moan. The house feels colder, I'm all alone. Dust settles thick on the window pane. I call for mama, but it's all in vain. The clock ticks loud, each second crawls. Shadows stretch long across these walls. I clutch her picture, hold it tight, praying she'll come home tonight. Mama, are you safe down there? The world above is cracked and bare. I'm just a child lost in the storm, waiting for your arms to keep me warm. I hear the rumble, the ground it shakes, the kind of sound that heartbreak makes. I run to the door, my breath is thin, hoping, praying you'll walk in. The silence cuts sharper than a knife. Each moment feels like a stolen life. I scream your name into the void. A little boy lost, his heart destroyed. Mama, are you safe down there? The world above is cracked and bare. I'm just a child lost in the storm, waiting for your arms to keep me warm. The voices in my head go on and on. One of them said this wouldn't take long. Now that she's dead, I can't stop hearing her. The voices in my head just start to slur. You think you love me, you know you do. You're not the only one, I love you too. I've heard it all before, there's nothing new. The voices in my head, I know the truth. The voice I hear the most comes from the man. He thinks he loves me, said he's my biggest fan. Said I'm an angel, I don't understand. It's not my fault that things didn't go as planned. You think you love me, you know you do. You're not the only one, I love you too. I've heard it all before, there's nothing new. The voices in my head, I know the truth. I heard last night was from a girl. She was a mess, a treasure, a pearl. She said she's special, she might be right. It's just a shame she had to die. You think you love me, you know you do. You're not the only one, I love you too. I've heard it all before, there's nothing new. The voices in my head, I know the truth. The twisted trees I tread alone, a cursed hollow where the wild winds moan. Shadows crawl and whisper my name. This place burns with a madness untamed. Branches claw like fingers of despair. The air is heavy with a ghostly glare. Footsteps echo though no one's near. In this cursed hollow there's only fear. Madness spreads like wildfire here. A roaring blaze of dread so clear. No escape, no end in sight. Lost forever in eternal night. The moon above is cracked and pale. Its light consumed by a howling whale. Each step deeper pulls me in. This hollow feeds on the dark within. Eyes unseen burn into my soul. This cursed hollow takes its toll. Laughter rings from shadows deep. In its grip I'll never sleep. Madness spreads like wildfire here. A roaring blaze of dread so clear. No escape, no end in sight. Lost forever in eternal night. Moon hangs low on the timberline. A ghostly glow through the pines. Hungry wolves howl the lonesome cry, while fighter jets split the midnight sky. The earth it trembles, the heavens weep. Steel wings above where shadows creep. A clash of beasts and man's regret. Hungry wolves and fighter jets. runs wild through fields of stone, chasing prey, but they're not alone. The engines roar like a fiery breath, echoing the dance of life and death. The earth that trembles, the heavens weep, steel wings above where shadows creep. A clash of beasts and man's regret, hungry wolves and fighter jets. In the stillness, a scream cuts deep, a jet in flames, the wolf retreat. Nature in war in a fatal embrace, the scars of man on the sacred place. Morning comes, but peace won't stay. The sky remembers the fight of yesterday. Hungry wolves and fighter jets collide in a world where no one can truly hide. Out in the field where the cold winds moan, a rifle lies silent, its story unknown, steel stained with the weight of lives that tore. If it could speak, it would beg for no more. Hands that held it, hearts made of stone, the echo of violence, a world overthrown, aimed at a man, a father, a son. If it could speak, it'd curse what's been done. If a rifle couldn't weep, it'd drown in the flood. Tears of sorrow mixed with rivers of blood. It'd scream to the heavens, take this from me, for the burden it bears is eternity. Betrayal another Sunday, another prayer to say, but the pews are empty, the faith worn thin. Even the preacher's voice is cracked within. Even church offerings turn to ash in this town. Nothing holy stays, it all burns down. The soil's too bitter, the air too dry, and hope's just smoke rising to the sky. The fields are barren, the wells run deep, but they hold no water, just secrets we keep. The cross on the hill is splintered and bare, a monument to sorrow hanging in the air. Even church offerings turn to ash in this town. Nothing holy stays, it all burns down. The soul's too bitter, the air too dry, and hope's just smoke rising to the sky. We light the candles, but the flames won't last. They flicker and die, just like the past. The choir's gone silent, the hymns won't rise, just the sound of the wind and unanswered cries. The old stained glass, it's shattered and worn, colors faded like hearts that mourn. The altar's cold, the prayers fall flat. This town's a grave, and faith lies in that. Whispered shadows carve the air, tongues of fire dare to flare. Words like oil, they soak the ground, ignite the silence, burn the town. Raise the strings to scrape the sky, strike the chords, let sparks fly. With every note the flames take hold, a symphony of stories bold. A matchstick lies in every phrase, flickers bright in smoky haze. Lyrics twist like curling smoke, embers born with every stroke. Let the violence scream and cry, truth unravels where ashes lie. The cello groans, the bass line sears, a melody forged in crimson tears. Raise the strings to scrape the sky, strike the chords, let sparks fly. With every note the flames take hold, a symphony of stories bold.
Strings of chaos won't turn back, and ruins words still softly sing. The fire's hymn on burning strings. The whistle blows and the workday dies, steel-toed boots through the muck and lies. Payday's here, but the devil's due, soaked in pig's blood and a bottle's bruise. Blood and bourbon, they stain my hands, a working man's soul, a sinking strand. Cash my check on whiskey and sin. The cycle starts where it should have ended. The slaughterhouse hums a hymn of pain, knives cut through bone and dreams get slain. The stench of life, it clings to me. A butcher's wage ain't never free. Blood and bourbon, they stain my hands, a working man's soul, a sinking strand. Cash my check on whiskey and sin. The cycle starts where it should have ended. A scream escapes, the bottle breaks, the guilt of choices, the earth it quakes. A hollow laugh in the barroom glow. How much of me will tomorrow know? A sinner stumble, a godless place. I swear to change, but the night's too loud. I drown my vows in a liquor cloud. The sun went down on a bitter land, a brother's knife in a trembling hand. The bond we shared, now torn apart, left a hole in my chest and a shattered heart. I saw the rage burning in his eyes, a fire so fierce it could touch the skies. His voice was cold, his words like stone. How does one die at the hands of their own? Oh, betrayed by blood, oh, cursed by kin, a fight for love I could never win. The earth's red stain tells a tale so grim. The shadow of death now hangs over him. A cabin stood in the forest still, where laughter echoed and time stood still. But hate took root where trust once grew, and the winds of betrayal cruelly blew. I scream his name in the dead of night, but silence answers, no wrongs made right. The ghost of love by a kin-made death.
Blood red coffins line the field, a story left untold. The soil drinks the sorrow, the young and brave turn cold. A mother's tears stain the earth, or a boy won't come back home. The echoes of the cannon sing where the silence roams. Blood red coffins, a soldier's lullaby, covered in the shadows of the ones who had to die. The truth is buried deeper than the graves we see. War's harsh reality, it ain't meant to set us free. The generals sip their whiskey, maps spread on the floor, while boys with trembling hands march off to settle scores. The moon hangs heavy, watching blood spill in the night, and the stars turn their faces from the horror of the fight. Blood red coffins, a soldier's lullaby, covered in the shadows of the ones who had to die. The truth is buried deeper than the graves we see. War's harsh reality, it ain't meant to set us free. The preacher says they're heroes, their sacrifice divine, but their screams still haunt the trenches, caught in the barbed wire line. Their medals shine in silence, their stories left unsaid. For every flag that's flying, there's a name carved for the dead. A child walks the battlefield, her eyes wide with fear. She sees the broken rifles and the helmets scattered near. Her tiny hands are trembling as she kneels down to pray. In a world of blood-red coffins, how do we find our way? Underneath the pine and the cold gray stone, they rest in the earth, forgotten, alone. No names carved deep, no stories to tell, just whispers of battles and echoes of hell. Fields turn red where their courage bled. A rifle's crack, now silence instead. No letters home, no tearful goodbye, just nameless graves 'neath an unmarked sky. Unknown, their faces lost, their names overthrown. In the soil they sleep,
the dark they remain, soldiers who died with no one to name. Dog tag, a torn uniform. The rain and the wind have weathered their form. The ground keeps their secrets, their blood-soaked pain, and the cries of their youth dissolve with the rain. Who will remember? Who will recall? Who were lost, the ones who gave all. A shadow of sorrow, a hymn of despair, for the nameless who rest unknown everywhere. They fought, they fell, for reasons unknown. Their faces lost, their names overthrown. In the soil they sleep, in the dark they remain, soldiers who died with no one to name. Sunrise broke, but the cupboards didn't fill. The cow stood silent on the frozen hill. The baby's cry cut through the morning gray. No milk to hush it, just dreams decay. No milk at sunrise, just the groans of the land. Empty stomachs and a fate we can't withstand. The earth don't answer and the heavens don't care. We're left to suffer in this cold, bitter air. Pa's boots are worn, his hands cracked and raw. He muttered curses to a God he once saw. The sore won't heal and the winter won't end. This kind of hunger's too hard to defend. No milk at sunrise, just the groans of the land. Empty stomachs and a fate we can't withstand. The earth don't answer and the heavens don't care. We're left to suffer in this cold, bitter air. The fields once golden, now as gray as the sky. We work till we're broken, but the crops still die. The wind howls louder than the prayers we send, and every sunrise feels like it could be the end. Mama keeps sewing patches on her dream, but the thread keeps snapping and her tears stream. The chickens don't cluck, the barn door swings wide. Emptiness lingers where hope used to hide.
Old sign's gone, rust swallowed it whole. No one remembered, not a soul. Pavement cracked, weeds pushing through. Street names erased, like the faces we knew. They paved over hearts, built on our pain. Dreams washed away in a cold driving rain. History whispers, but it can't be traced. Street names erased, lives misplaced. A corner store where we used to meet, gone with the wind, lost in defeat. The echoes of laughter little church where the hymns would rise, boarded up now under darkened skies. The preacher's words, the promises made, street names erased and faith betrayed. They paved over hearts, built on our pain. Dreams washed away in a cold driving rain. History whispers, but it can't be traced. Street names erased, lives misplaced. Bar stool sits in the corner alone. Worn leather cracked like a heart turned to stone. It's seen the weight of 1,000 nights, but tonight it waits 100 dim neon lights. The bar stool waits
jukebox hums a tune, but the room's gone black. Whiskey glasses line dust settles on the rack. The bar stool waits for a drinker who never came back. A shadow lingers where he used to lean, fingers tracing the grain, lost in the unseen. He left a dead-end stories and a name and smoke, but the chair don't ask why and the barkeep won't joke. The door swings wide, but it's never his face, just strangers who fill but can't replace. The bar stool waits for a drinker who never came back. The jukebox hums a tune, but the room's gone black. Whiskey glasses lined dust settles on the rack. The bar stool waits for a drinker who never came back. Find peace in the arms of the night, or wander lost in a place we can't see, like the echo of a voice haunting memory.
Beneath the pines, the shadows lay low, where the whispers of the lost still softly go. No trumpet calls, no bright parade, just the rustle of leaves where the memories fade. Falling past quietly, no banners wave, no song to mark the path they gave. In the silence their stories reside, echoes of lives that time couldn't hide. A hollowed stone, a name carved deep. The forest holds the secrets it keeps. Boots that once marched, now still in the ground. Their battle cries gone, not a trace of sound. The fallen pass quietly, no banners wave, no song to mark the path they gave. In the silence their stories reside, echoes of lives that time couldn't hide. And I shout their names to the empty sky, but the wind carries no reply. Just the weight of loss, a heavy chain, a storm inside a relentless rain. A flicker of flame in a lantern's glow, guiding me through where the wild things grow. I see their faces in the darkened trees, still whispers through the broken beams, haunted by the echoes of forgotten dreams. The wind hums low where the shadows creep, a ghostly well where the ashes sleep. Cry out loud where the silence grows, the town's lost voice in the embers glow. The ghosts they dance through the hollow sound, echoes rise from the burned down ground. Crumbling walls hold the stories tight, charred remains of a fiery fight. The moonlight spills on the haunted stone, a melody sung by the long gone. A shadow's hand through the soot-stained air whispers a tale of despair and care. The ground still shakes with a muffled beat. The past won't rest beneath our cry out loud where the silence grows. The town's lost voice in the embers glow. The ghosts they dance through the hollow sound, echoes rise from the burned down ground. Footsteps linger where the light once shone, a trail of sorrow through the overgrown. The ruins hum with a somber tune, a haunting hymn beneath the moon. Take my horses, take my land, take the soul from a working man's hand. Sell my seeds to the highest bid, till all that's left is the way it is. They buy our crops and they sell our songs, our mother's fields to the megacorps. And it's not as it was, and it's not as it is. It's the way it is, and the way it is. The sky is green and the grass is blue. Up is down and me is you. All my dreams have all come true, but the sky is green and the grass is blue. it's not as it is, it's the way it is, and the way it is. They give us corn and they give us beef. They make us sweat for the food we eat. And it's not as it was, and it's not as it is, it's the way it is, and the way it is. The sky is green and the grass is blue. Up is down and me is you. All my dreams have all come true, but the sky is green and the grass is blue. The sun rose red like a bloody scar. Dust in the air carried tales from afar. The sheriff's badge weighed heavy with sin. His lies and his greed did him in. The townfolk gathered, their eyes like steel. Whispers of justice, a long buried zeal. Chains on his wrist, he stood in despair. The gallows waited in the square. Rise up, oh rise, let the truth be told. No man can buy what the soul won't be sold. The earth will remember the lives he stole. Justice rings out where the church bells toll. He swore he'd change, but his words were dust. Broken promises turned to rust. A widow cried, her heart torn in two. The sheriff's time was long overdue. The preacher read from the holy page, but mercy was lost to the people's rage. The rope swung high, the crowd stood still. A reckoning came with an iron Rise up, oh rise, let the truth be told. No man can buy what the soul won't be sold. The earth will remember the lives he stole. Justice rings out where the church bells toll.